Well, there we are. That's a wrap on day one of DDW 2025. Standout session, first one, epidemiology of IBD. Started with Stephanie Coward presenting across the 4 epidemiological stages, looking in particular at the stage 3 countries. That's UK, Europe, North America, Australia, for example, where incidence has plateaued, but the prevalence is increasing due to this phenomenon of compounding prevalence. And looking across all the different data sets, including ours from Lothian, showing that currently the prevalence is 0.83% and will increase above 1%, definitely by 2035 across all of those populations. And then we had from the same group, from Gil Kaplan's amazing group, Joey Windsor, presenting from the same data sets, in fact looking at the much broader GIVS 21 consortium that Gil leads with Sue, at the difference between UC and Crohn's disease. There's always been this phenomenon that UC cases come first and then Crohn's disease comes, and that ratio shifts over time. And actually you see that broadly across all the different data sets. But it might, I think, be very instructive to start looking at what happens in other parts of the world where actually there are outliers to that. And I think we see that already in parts of the world, such as the Middle East, where Crohn's disease clearly seems to be predominating early on. Rupert Bandry presented data from the region around Hyderabad in the rural communities, where they go out to the villages and do these fabulous outreach clinics. They've looked at urbanization, and they've looked at how urbanized the villages are becoming by a number of different metrics. So it's like looking at what's happening in situ, not just people moving from villages to cities, which would be the classic definition of urbanization. And they see that then this very close correlation between the degree of urbanization and the prevalence of IBD, which is super, super interesting. There's lots of good clues there to etiological factors, to causes of Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. And then also in that session, Mansi Agrawal from Mount Sinai presenting on behalf of Joanna Torres's consortium with the tooth fairy study combined with a second cohort from the meconium study, looking at this laser dissection of deciduous teeth, so baby teeth. So you can look at teeth before people have developed IBD and looking to see the concentrations of different metals, essential and non-essential metals. And it's super interesting because you see this diverse effect from the essential metals such as manganese, which are protective, and the non-essential metals, particularly cadmium, which seem to be associated with an increased risk of IBD. Very interesting clues, perhaps, again, as to what's happening. Cadmium is associated with increased fossil fuel burning, for example, so it may just be picking up what's been happening in societies over time, but I think also looks to be potentially an interesting factor in manganese too. So that was the standout session.